We're live. Let's see. This is the first time I should be live on Kick as well. Let's see if this is working out. Yep, it is working out. Good. Okay, this is awesome. No viewers yet, but you know what, guys? That's kind of the point of having these streams, right? Like, we're doing this because we believe we're early, whether it's in NFTs or just like covering NFTs in general. Let's see if we're alive and kicking on YouTube as well. Yes, that should be fine as well. Let's see. Next one up being Twitter. Good enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. I mean, TLDR. Let's just boom. Okay, I kind of want to build up on like the momentum that NFTs are having like right here, right now. It's kind of interesting, right? Because like NFTs again, like they've been hammered down for the past fucking 2.5, 3 years, something alike. And you know what, with the collectible market absolutely booming, I kind of feel that it's only going to be like a matter of time before NFTs are going to be back. And you know what, like we've seen like so much mockery, right? Like I can steal your NFT, yada yada yada. Guys, like in the same fucking fashion, right? You can fucking print your TSA 10 Charizard, PSA 10 Charizard, or like a Charizard, which you kind of can't, right? Like that's the cool thing about like NFTs and like digital collectibles. You cannot fraud with that. You cannot like fraud their contract address at the end of the day. So yeah, anyways, TLDR. For anyone, like if they would be tuning in from Kick, I'm the NFT Cat, your favorite digital curator, if you will. What I do is I curate digital art. That's my passion. We've been seeing a collector's boom. All sorts of collectibles have been like going absolutely mental, right? Like the other day we had Logan Paul having his PSA 10 allegedly graded Pikachu Illustrator being sold for 16.9 million, something like that, which is just absolutely mental. And in my humble opinion, that means that we are definitely closer to a top than a bottom on Pokemon in general, right? Like I've been seeing like so many people and like, oh, I need to get into Pokemon. Oh, I need to do X, Y, Z. But fact is, if you've been in crypto, for example, it kind of does remind me of like the what's it called, like the FTX boom, like the FTX stop, right? With the FTX arena, for example. So many top signals, right? Like you gotta ask yourself, like, what needs to happen for this to keep on growing? And the answer to that is, I mean, what is the answer to that, right? How much bigger does it need to be in order for like to sustain this kind of growth? that's just my opinion on things. It really is. I mean, having said that, what has been absolutely like dying down for like the past while has been NFTs, right? Like there's been like a boom like a few years ago, and ever since people have been bearish, right? If you're looking at the charts, it's just kind of messy. I mean, this definitely looks like more like a bottom than a top, right? That's just my humble opinion on these things. Having said that, I think like it's time for a reversal sooner or later, and in that sense, I believe like the reversal might be right upon us. I would not be surprised if we see like these kind of patterns whenever, right? Who knows? Like, obviously the time frame doesn't really matter in this one, but TLDR, it's better to be bullish on like the collectible side of these things, right? Within like digital collectibles than when we are trading at like the 200 Solana mark, right? The interesting part though is like versus the US dollar, it's still, I mean, we're trading at all-time lows pretty much, right? Which might be like an interesting like point of potential reversal, at least in my book. And if not, if you're interested in this stuff, then probably now is like a good time to spend some beer money at it. Because you know what? If I'm wrong on this, which is definitely an option, then the industry would just be dying. Let's see. So yeah, anyways, interesting food for thought. Also, having said that, like anyone looking at this, right, might think to themselves like, you know what? Whenever like NFTs peaked, right, which was nearly 4 years ago, which is kind of crazy. Whenever they peaked, at first people jumped to what's it called, sneakers. Afterwards people jumped to Pokemon cards, right? And you're dealing with like rotation in general, right? So again, people are only going to be more digital as we speak. We don't have like any deterioration of collectibles. We don't have like any predation being into play, right? Like this is like, these are some of like the advantages of you dealing with digital collectibles, right? I don't care whether the one, if I'm trying to get my hands on a certain NFT, then I don't need to physically be with that person in order to transact. And I think like that's such a good competitive advantage. I really do. Right? So on the one hand, you need to know how to like get yourself like a crypto wallet. you kind of need to get yourself to either Tensor.trade or magiceden.io, and that's kind of it. I mean, like, it's hard to kind of hate on that. And more than that, even we're already seeing like some NFT brands like doing quite well, right? If we're looking at Famous Fox, for example, versus Solana, they're actually performing really well. I mean, this is kind of horrendous. Boom, there we go. I mean, that's not bad for a asset class which are quote unquote dead, right? It was, I believe, like not even a month ago to where I saw them trading at 2.5 Solana. And from the lows, they're up pretty much nearly 100%, 95%. So yeah, talking about like Famous Foxes though. For anyone, let's see where the viewership is from. Sadly, no one from Kick just yet. We'll get there, boys. But basically, like, Famous Foxes is some of like the best what's it called? Some of the very best NFT infrastructure, whether it is about lending, whether it's about like transacting. They are some of like the biggest player on Solana. Give me 1 sec because my screen is absolutely killing me right now. Let's see if this shit is fixed. I guess the answer is no. Let's see. Give me 1 sec, guys. Out of like 2 screens, one of them died on me. See, this should do a trick. Boom, there we go. Yeah, so I guess Kick is not working right here, right now, just yet. Actually, it is. I have 2 followers or like 2 viewers on Kick. I'll take it. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, talking about Famous Foxes. Famous Foxes is some of like the best like infrastructure on NFTs within Solana, right? And rightfully so. I mean, like you can see quite clearly that interest is going quite well, right? As in interest. Like you see somewhat of a Adam and Eve kind of pattern here. So yeah, like that's interesting. But the big question, right? Like, is this some kind of a dead cat bounce? Or is it the start of something bigger? You know what? I wouldn't have this fucking channel if I thought this was just a dead cat bounce. Because make no mistake, I kind of believe, even though like it looks kind of shitty versus like the US dollar, I do kind of feel like this might be like the start of something really nice, right? Like, who knows if it could do something like this, which in my opinion is not that far-fetched at all. Again, like, we're dealing with NFTs. You don't need to worry about like your cards deteriorating, or like in whatever way, shape, or form you need to make sure that your items are legitimate, because at the end of the day, that's what you'd have like your contract address for, right? There's no way of impersonating. There's no way of falsifying a contract address. So yeah, anyways, TLDR, that's Famous Foxes. I think like Famous Foxes are like a really good bet in general. Like, I think like the art is not that good. I had a guest on like with the, on the show, and he basically pointed out on how you can basically like upgrade your foxes as we go. I guess like this is a better upgraded fox, but you know what, like, shoot me, like, I don't care for this art. I do think it's a good project though. Matlats, one of the DeFi blue chip projects on Solana. Price is not what we want to see out of this just yet, as they recently had like access to an airdrop, I believe, or like the snapshot has been taken for like the backpack token airdrop. I mean, I do not see. I mean, look at this bullish divergence though. I would not be surprised if we'd see like a retest of like these levels at all. Even better, like, I think that like Matlats is like some of the best NFT brands out there right here, right now. I'm not sure whether it's the best. I don't care that much for it. I think like the art is kind of cool. And this is definitely like, if we would see like a resurgence within NFTs in general, I would probably reckon that this would tag along quite nicely with it. Anyway, like, I'm very much like a fan of Matlats. I do not own any Matlats, just for the simple reason that you can only spend your funds once, right? Like, I chose to own some different ones, but I think they're good. And again, especially with like the collectible market booming like it is right here, right now, NFTs been going like straight down for like the past while. I can very, very, very much see like some kind of a new life cycle starting like sometime soon. Some of like the projects I'm really high on right now, Ute, very much tied to D-Gods, right? Like, I mean, just look at the potential there. I think it's only going to be like a matter of time before we're going to see something like this. And you know what? If we're talking about like having like good profile pictures, I think like these are fire. Also, small little side note, anyone who's tuning in right now, feel free to just like chat or like send a message on the stream, whether it's Kick, whether it's whatever, YouTube, Twitter. I should be seeing like all the messages in the box here. So yeah, I kind of want to make it as engaging as I possibly could. So having said that, give me your best. Anyways, back to the art. I think Utes is absolutely amazing. I think it's a great brand, great IP. I don't think it gets the love it should get, really, because like obviously it always keeps being like pressed down by like its big brother being Degons, right? But from a perspective of what needs to happen for us to moon, I mean, like only what 67 Solana needs to be spent for us to gain 70% in price. How much is that? 67 Solana to USD. I mean, like, that's not even 6K, man. So basically, whenever like someone is going to decide for himself to spend 6K on Utes, we're going to fly by 70%. Isn't that crazy? I think like those are some absolutely nuts metrics. Everything's lining up quite nicely. And if we're talking about like good ones at the floor, right? I mean, like there's plenty to choose from in my book. I think like this one is quite fun. Like the 24K gold blocks is like pretty sought after trade. It's not at the floor though. It's not at the floor. But then again, like the floor is like extremely thin. It's going to take what? Spending 10 Solana is going to make us jump by 15%, which is just nuts. So yeah, up to anyone, like especially with Utes, since all of the trades are pretty much equal. I mean, like they're equal. Just buy whatever you like. Just buy whatever you want to collect, right? Because like at the end of the day, like that's kind of what we're preaching here. NFTs, like anyone who's going to be like, well, you're not going to be ever able to sell it, you're not ever going to be able to XYZ. I've heard it like a fucking million times before, right? Like most of those people are the ones who bought like NFTs during the NFT craze, and right now they're sitting at minus 99%. Hey, what's up, Jim Jammer? Jim Jammer got himself like a nice little something, by the way. I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. But to anyone who has like the opinion of NFTs will never be a thing anymore, well, I mean, like maybe you and like 99% of like everyone and their mom is going to be right, but just know that there's been like a point in time to where your holofoil Charizards were not a sought after asset to begin with, right? Like things work in cycles, and we had like a really good bear cycle down. Now it would be absolutely amazing if we could do something like this, right? Just imagine, folks, but I'm sure that it's never, ever going to happen again, right? Just some food for thought, gang. Like if NFTs are dead, right? Then why do most of like the big accounts on crypto Twitter still have a NFT as a profile picture? Just think on that. But maybe like we're advocating like a dying industry. It's possible, but I'll tell you one thing which is possible too. Think like it's definitely possible to be like it's better to be like bullish at these levels more so than these levels, right? Yeah, what do I know? I'm just a autistic guy who likes cats on the one hand and who likes to collect digital collectibles. Shoot me. This is my hobby. This is what I would say I have like an expertise in. I've basically had like amazing spaces with like 3 co-hosts where we basically interview founders of NFT projects. I think like this is something to be excited about, and especially right, like especially since the NFT market yet again, like it's something special right now in my book. Like it really is. I think the NFT market is at give me one sec because this is not going too well for whatever reason. Like whenever there we go. So whenever I fucking turn kick on, my computer absolutely fucking loses it. I'm not sure what's up with that, but you know what? It is what it is. I mean, like these are bear market times, man. All we need is NFTs to go up, and I'll buy myself a nice little computer. Anyways, all jokes aside, considering life's a gamble, right? That you'd be considering that NFTs would be like a once in a lifetime kind of thing, which inherently is not true, right? Because I think like crypto rocks and crypto punks already have enjoyed like 2 cycles, at least like crypto rocks. But yeah, anyways, like this is going to be, in my opinion, like the resurgence of NFTs 2.0, which will probably be bigger and better because people always hey, Observerize, what's up? This is my first comment from a kicked viewer. Appreciate it. Thank you. I think like this is going to be like way bigger and better than like the previous cycle. And inherently, if I were to guess, probably lower highs versus the native currency, which will be Solana, and higher highs versus USD. Is that possible? Yep, that's possible. I mean, like, again, if we're looking at DGOTs, for example, and just know I am shilling my own back with this one because I think DGOTs is just simply the best art. It's what I like to collect the most. I mean, if you're telling me that this looks like it's up, you gotta be fucking shitting me, right? Still very much a alive and kicking community of individuals who are excited about digital art. Plus, being part of a digital community. Let's just call it like it is. And especially during the last, I believe, 30 days. All right, let's see. To where, generally speaking, like floors have been pumping quite a bit in the last 30 days, plus 3%, plus minus 6%, plus 15%, plus 15%, plus 60%, plus 50%. I don't know what the fuck that this is. 49%, 40%, 40%. I mean, and it has still so much room to grow, right? Like if you're looking at like these patterns, and I know like everyone and their mom is going to be like, oh, it's never going to be a thing anymore, or like technical analysis doesn't work for fucking NFTs. It works for anything in life. Just get good. I'm just going to call it like it is. Within this cycle, I really believe that we're going to see like 85 to 200 Solana DGOTs. Just for your information, right? Like this is a pattern I've seen like so many times already in Kabuto recently. But another part would be like Fetch AI during like I think it was like the 2022 AI boom, to where the pattern does this pretty much, and then it dies down. And then it starts going up for like the new highs or whatever. But anyways, I think like as a first target, 36 Solana for DGOTs. And for a later target, between 85, between here and here. Fibonacci wise, there you go. Between the 0.5 and 618. Anyways, this is just like my argumentation on why now. I mean, like, guys, like, just being serious. If you were like bullish on fucking NFTs around this level, you should absolutely love them at this level, right? Maybe this shouldn't break the internet. Anyways, if we're looking at like the stuff we like, right? What's quite like significant is that like premier pieces within like the collection in the past few days have been bought up. 15 Solana going for this double mythic, which is a absolute steal in my opinion. Let's check some other ones. Boom. There we go. This one selling at 8 Solana, an absolute steal. Mythic skin selling for 20 Solana. Pretty good. I think like that's fair for 4 floors worth of Solana. Mythic being sold for Mythic DGOT's jersey or God jersey at what, 18 Solana. Another Mythic skin for 15 Solana. And as we go, guys, like the floor really is like getting thinner and thinner. I think like this is kind of what you get. We're at price levels, right, to where Well, grill holders seem to be quite adamant about like not selling their grills for any cheaper. Whether that makes sense or no, that's for anyone like to decide, but you know what, like I agree there. And I mean, like we've been like consolidating about like this level for the past 2 months or so, right? And I mean, like you gotta admit, like it's being bought up. I mean, like the RSI is kind of crazy here, right? This is some massive bullish divergence. So yeah, anyways, on the DGOTS part, and I've been quite vocal on like what I think is like the better, what are like the better buys. I mean, like fact is like a lot of it has been sold already, but when it comes down to like having good floors, I do feel like there's still like plenty of choice, right? Let's say like if you're trying to get in, let's put like a limit to like 6.5. I think this one is pretty good looking. People can agree or disagree, but I do feel like the snake eyes is a pretty sought after trade. People don't really like the God Cap bottle, but you know what, like to each their own. The wife beater shirt with the Navi skin looks pretty good too. The skin actually looks really good compared to with like the cap. I don't know, like some people like or dislike the cap, but again, like that's to each their own. I think this looks absolutely nuts. Actually, this one will look really good in season 3. What's it called? 6870. I mean, in season 3, this one looks like pretty good, right? Or at least like that's my humble opinion there. I think that this one looks pretty good. I think within like better liquidity times, you'd probably see this one trading at like 1.3x the floor, something like that, which would be at 6 Solana right now, so might have like somewhat of an opportunity there. So yeah, I think this one looks pretty cool. I think like the notch classes are pretty cool as well. Are they called notch? Rugrat frames, all good. So yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, obviously like this poker skin is like really good looking, looks absolutely amazing with like the shirt and the broken glasses. I think like there's still plenty of choice, but I'll tell you this much, we're definitely getting bought up. I don't think the price is being rejected at all. More so, I think like it won't be like too fast before we revisit these kind of levels. If I were to guess, probably rather sooner than later. Anyways, that's it for DGOTS. SMB I already covered. Like, to be honest with you guys, like I don't have like too much knowledge on like the SMB part. I just don't. Planosaurus is really good. I just don't fucking care about them, to be honest with you. That is what it is. Doesn't mean that they won't go up, because I do think that they're cool. They are a good NFT brand, but again, at the same time, I just don't really care about them. It's not my art. It's not what I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, this is not what I want to have as my PFP, and that's just kind of it. But again, like, you know what? Like, are this to be disputed? Are this subjective? Who is right and who's wrong? I mean, like, at the end of the day, there's nothing other than personal preference, right? I think geckos are cool. I do not have like any geckos, but definitely one of like the ones I'd be looking to get in. I like the cartoony, somewhat Ed Hardy-esque vibe to it. I do know that they are very deep into like Twitter algorithms, etc., etc. But yeah, basically, what's up with like geckos? Holistically speaking, like they have like several factions you can be like a part of, or like factions like the geckos can be a part of, based on the background color. I don't know like the name of the fucking factions, to be honest with you, but I mean like the black, purple, red, and the green is all like a different faction. What else is there? Their premier tree is like the neon green color, which is this one. And that's kind of it. Like, I would vouch for them in the sense of, I think it's cool art. I think like they're a cool kind of community to be a part of. Very welcoming, very kind. And they've been around. I mean, like they've survived like the bear market as well. So yeah, let's see. I mean, like this one also, right? Like on the Solana, let's see. Again, guys, like if I'd be wrong, then that would pretty much mean that this industry is dead. And I refuse to believe it's dead, just because of like the activity you'd still see for them. Again, I would not be like surprised if we'd see something amongst these lines, right? So yeah, interesting. Last but not least, I'm going to shine a light on a newer one I'm a part of myself. I think cool. Definitely have like some medievals. I think like the art is considered really mid, and I think like that's like the inside joke to these things, right? I co-host like their town halls actually, which is in 4 hours from now. So like anyone interested, feel free to join. They are like the same designers as the ones from D-Gods, Candy Apple and Johnny D-Gods. This is their next project, and like honestly, like I think I wouldn't say they're underrated, right? Because like they're doing quite well. But I'll tell you this much, like it's definitely like being a part of medievals is definitely like definitely equals like having a good time. It really does. Like they're awesome. I think the sky is pretty much the limit with them. Right now they also have like these basically TLDR would be that they have many burning mechanisms, which is basically the one thing which they're known for, right? Like you can burn your floors or like whatever medievals you'd like, and in exchange for that you'll either get a, let's see, an orc, for example, right? One of these bastards back in the day. Or you would have like physical collectible, or a, what's it called, a in real life painting. They're cool. They're definitely a cool one to be a part of. But yeah, I would say though, like if anyone is interested in that, I would definitely advise to basically like be a part of the town hall later today. It's in 3 hours and 45 minutes or something. But yeah, some interesting facts about them though is that you would have like the medievals, right, which are just like these regular guys with like the themes going basically between like medieval as well as just like regular guys, right? And the mix between it is what's basically representing their identity, right? Like just like a regular dude with like the fucking hippie hair and like an X in his chest, like no biggie. They have like some beasts in there, right? The wolf, tiger, I think, like, what are they called? Let's just go scroll right through them. Gorilla, here you go. I think they're quite cool as well. The eagle. I think like they will probably do like really well during like the NFT season, just because of the fact they've been making like a shitload of noise, really. It's rather easy to like. I do kind of feel though that they could probably do like a little better job at basically highlighting their art, right? Because right now the focus of this project really like very much is like the burning mechanism. But me, if I really want to like shill my own bags, and like I got like quite some grills of this one right now, it just does not make too much sense to basically hold grills. You can like equally just go for floors, because floors are the alpha right now. Floors are the ones getting burned, and hence getting like making sure there's not quite as much supply, hence like the price surge. But they have like some cool fucking grills as well. I mean, for example, I believe there's only like 25 of like this Merlin slope, for example. And I think like this is one of like the premier features, right? Like for anyone listening in, this would be like the medieval equivalent to the divine robe. There's only like 25 of them. Let's see. This will be your equivalent of a modern mythic war armor, not modern war armor, mythic war armor. And again, like this is like, you're either into like the art or you're not, right? But if you are into the art, then the whole inside joke and like the cool thing to it is that like, okay, like I'm wielding this sword, I'm having like this cool fucking armor, and like at the same time I'm kind of dressed like a fucking 40-year-old skateboarder with like the backwards cap, right? It's either like your thing or it's not. Who am I to judge? Other than like we can all judge. Same for this guy, right? Like with his fucking mythic armor and his sword at the same time, right? And combined with his mod classes and It's fucking blonde locks or gray locks waving into the wind. Anyways, I think they're cool. I think they're worth checking out. I think if we're going to see somewhat of a NFT resurgence, this is probably one of the ones which will do really well. Just being transparent, even though there's more liquidity, I believe, on Ethereum, I just don't fucking care about the Ethereum NFTs at this point. I just don't. I'm sure they fixed the what's it called? The I'm sure they fixed like the transaction fees by now. But even then, like I'm just not that much of a fan. Let's see. Interesting food for thought, right? Bored Ape Yacht Club. I'm not quite sure what like the floor price was at like some point, but I'm pretty sure that it's been like a lot higher than this. Anyways, like guys, like if anyone is like remotely interested in like NFTs, I do kind of feel that right here, right now might be like time to throw some beer money at it. Might not be you, but like there's been like quite some people actually like starting to collect at these like really cheap prices, and like either NFTs are like the exception to the rule to where this will never ever come back, right? Or you could be wrong, and whenever one would care for this one again, then you'll be paying for it dearly, right? So yeah, I mean, like with the stream being live for like 52 minutes, I'm kind of gonna cut it short now. Appreciate like anyone like tuning in. For anyone who cares, like please follow, like, retweet, follow on YouTube or on Kick. Like I'm not even sure how that works. But I do believe that like 14 people are watching on Twitter right now. We had like 2 people watching on Kick, and I believe like some on YouTube as well. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If there's something you would like me to cover, let me know. Feel free to like DM, feel free to engage with me on the chat, whatever. I appreciate like every single one of you, and on to the next one. Cheers, thank you, and bye bye.